What is up, guys? It's Raul TV, Team R for you. Well, we're in the garage, we're back again, and what we're doing this time around is I've got a 2015 14 plate kind of thing, Skoda Rapid. It's exactly the same as a Skoda Octavia, Skoda Superb, pretty much all Skodas. I'll put it this way, it's a 1.6 TDI engine, okay? And what I've already done this one on another video. I've replaced the cam and crankshaft oil seal, so check that video out and give me a like and thumbs up. Thing is, I'm doing the same on this one as well, but there's one little difference. The thing is, on this one, it's got an electronic water pump on it. On the other one, it had a manual water pump on it. The bell-driven water pump, but it was a manual one, right? On this one, an electronic water pump. That's the difference. So I thought I'll put that in there as well. Pretty much the job is pretty much the same, besides the water pump section. So it's here in all its glory. Let's go. Let's do it. Right, guys. First things first, as usual. Take this cover off. Just lift it off, and that's it. That's the easy bit done. Right, let's get to the hard bit. Just like the other one where I did the 1.6 diesel cam bell and the crank and camshaft oil seal, exactly the same. We have to get rid of the water expansion bottle. Dead easy. It's on little clips on this one. It hasn't even got screws on this one. So flick these clips. Sorry about the noise in the background. It is a garage. More cars in the garage. So we flick these little clips with a flat screwdriver. That bottle should come off. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this. We don't have to take it off totally. We'll take that bolt off. There's another nut underneath there, and hopefully that should just move out. Another one here, sorry, yeah, another one there. That should move out of the way. If you want to, you can go ahead and take this pipe off, and you know it'll give you a bit more room to move it out of the way and everything. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Right, guys, now we've got the expansion bottle out of the way, the fuel filters out of the way, we can gain access here. What I'm going to do is a bit more housekeeping, a bit more tidying up. I'm going to take that off, so that's out of the way, that one there. It's a Torx 25, I think. Yeah, take that off. Take this cover off. Hopefully, after taking that off, that cover should come straight off, and we'll go from there. Right, the next part, guys, what we need to do is, obviously we took all the fuel filter off, the expansion bottles off. We need to take this cover off, so we press it down on these little clips here. You'll see one here, plastic clips. Lift off. Right, but the thing is, this will not come out. As you can see, it's hitting that sensor there, yeah? So what I had to do is get a spanner on that sensor. 17 milli spanner on there, and literally I had to anti-clockwise take that off. It was tight, guys. I'm not being funny, but that was really tight. So that will come off. Sensor, one of the I think the oxygen sensor is off, guys. Yeah. So now hopefully when I press down on these clips here, that if I get two hands on it, I'll maneuver it out. It should come straight out of that cover. Right, guys, now we've took all that off. Everything's off, out of the way. We can see the belt is there. The water pump is down there. We'll get to that after. It's the electronic one, like I mentioned, electronic water pump. So yeah, what we're going to do now is we're going to send it up and tackle it from underneath. Right, guys, I've sent the car up on the ramp, took the wheel off. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this cover off. Basically it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and few on the bottom. Take the bottom cover off as well, this one here. Literally, so basically we'll take this off and take that off, a few screws, Torx, I think the 20 or 25 all the way around. Take them off. The back ones, I think the Torx 45 or a 40, I think the 45 actually, on the bottom cover. Take them off and then we'll go from there. I tell you what, guys, VW and Audi and Skoda, the VW range, they put these covers on with about 50 bolts. I'm only exaggerating. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 screws to hold one cover. All they need is 4 in 4 corners. That's what 1, 2, 3, 4, that's it. My wrist is falling off. Right, guys, I've won here. I've took the cover off. There's the culprit. What we're changing is the crankshaft oil seal. There's the crankshaft. The seal is behind that. That's what we're replacing. Also, we're going to replace the camshaft oil seal while we're at it. The cover, this one, if you want to, you can go ahead and take the whole lot off if you want to. I can't be bothered now, which means I have to take more screws off. As it is, my hand's falling off. Right, so what we're doing now is this there. Can you see the tensioner there moving? This one, we're going to go, right, so 16 mil. Anti-clockwise, counterclockwise, as you can see there, releases all the tension on the belt, the fan belt, the auxiliary belt, and take that off. Obviously I would take it off, well, if I wasn't holding the camera, right? So yeah, let's go ahead and take that off. Right, next step for us guys is I'm going to wash that off. 4 little multi-spline, I think the M12 or something like that, or M10, them little multi-spline. Just buy a set. You'll have all the Torx inside them, you know. They're only about £10-15 from eBay or in America, or whichever country you're in. Just check eBay, you'll see it, Torx set with them in multi-splines. Take them off and we'll go from there. Alright guys, that's what you need. I've already took them off, as you can see there. The M10 multi-spline, you just make it out there, a bit fuzzy, focusing and everything. We go there, M10 multi-spline socket. Right, so what we do now is that, if we just give it a little, as you can see, it's moving. There we go, that comes off. It's got a little woodruff key on it as well, a little pointer, a dowel, so you can't go wrong with that one. It doesn't really matter. Right, what I'm going to do now is dead easy. There's one there, Torx, I think the Torx 25 or 30 Torx, take them off. Another one in there, and another one up there. Take where my finger is there. Take them off. That cover should come off. If you want to, while you're at it, while you're underneath now. Actually, step by step, let's take that cover off. Alright guys, that cover is all freestyling and everything. The thing is, it's not going to come off, okay? My bad, I thought it would come off. It's not going to come off. I knew it's not going to come off. I don't know why I said it's going to come off. Right, it's not going to come off. What we need to do, two things. If you want to take it off without taking the mounting off, just take the tension off. That should come off. But we don't need the tension off, so don't look don't look into that. What we need to do is now, guys, we need to crack this one. Crack this one. Loosen these two. Yep. Send the car down. Yeah. Take the top mounting off. Get a jack underneath it. Support it on the jack with the block on it, and then go from there. What I'm trying to say is we need to take this bracket off, take the mounting off. That's our next job. We need to take the engine mounting off. Right guys, I've just sent the car down. I've got the jack on it with a block. As you can see, wooden block there supporting the engine. I'm going to go ahead and take these two off on the top, so this mounting should drop. I mean, sorry, the engine should drop, mounting should stay there. So after we take these two off, this one and this one, we're going to go ahead and take that one off, and that one off, and this little bad boy off here, right? These are 18 mil, them two, this one and this one. These look like 16 mil or 16 or 15 mil, these two, and this one is a 13 mil. Let's take it off. Right guys, I've jacked it up, mountings off, jacked it up as much as I can. There's one more bolt here, which I'm going to take off. The other two from the bottom, what I cracked, slackened, there's one. The other one, I think I'll have to drop the engine down, or maybe can get to it. Give me a minute. It won't come out, so I'll have to lower the engine down for that one, the bottom one. I'm going to take this one off and we'll go from there. Right guys, this mounting is off. It totally came off, no problem. That bolt, I slackened that one, which is on the top. Them two, remember, from the bottom, slackened them, took them off from the, well, this one, it was all off and everything. This one is all off and everything. This one was all off, but it wasn't coming out. I thought I'm going to jack it down, lower the jack down and then take it off, but I didn't need to. In doing so, the cover has just fallen off, which is good, happy days. And now we can get to everything, the full monty, the belt, the water pump, everything. So right, let's go, let's do it. Right, this one, guys, is exactly same as the older ones. I mean, they've just made it a little bit fancier. On the old ones, remember, you had 1, 2, 3 little bolts there, 13mm bolts, so you have to slacken. Obviously, after getting the locking tool on, you have to slacken them to get the belt, everything. This one has just got the one there, a Torx 25, okay? The bottom should be exactly the same, yep. And everything else, besides the water pump being a bit different, you know, the electronic water pump and everything. Sorry about the noise, but the electronic water pump and everything else, it should be exactly the same. Obviously, the locking pin will go there, it will go all the way around, and it's about here somewhere. I can just make it out, it's about here. Right, you have to push it in through there. When I line everything up, time everything up, I'll take a picture and I'll show you guys. Alright guys, this is where it is. There's one pin on the cam pulley. On the injector, we've got one pin. On the bottom one, we've got the locking tool on. What it is, I haven't got the exact right locking tool, but I've put the old type locking tool on. Plus, what I've done is, I've marked it as well. As you can see, I put one mark there, one mark onto the tool, onto the cog, so we can't really go wrong. Let's whiz it off. Let's go. Let's take it off. Right, belt is off. All we have to do is slacken that tensioner, 13mm. The tensioner is over here, obviously. Yeah, it goes in there like that. Yep. And all we've done is take that off. Happy days. That's off. Belt is off. What I'm going to do now is, guys, I'm going to take the water pump off. It is a M10 multi-spline. Let's go ahead and take them off. To take the water pump off, dead easy, guys. Obviously the wiring plug goes in there. Take that off. 3 little M10, one here, one underneath here, and one in there, which I've already taken off. I'll point it out in the edit. And take them off, and that's it. Cam pulley bolt. I had to get a screwdriver in there, jam the cam pulley. Obviously, don't leave that in, and I kept that in, but what I did is get a screwdriver in there, jam it up, and then undo the 18mm center. That should come straight off. There we go. And there's the culprit, the camshaft oil seal. Well, let's go ahead and replace that. Right guys, there's no nice way to take this off. All we do is get a screwdriver and just flick it off. If there's a tool to take it off, you guys leave it in the comment section, but I just flick it off with a screwdriver. There's the new one. New one's on, guys. All I have to do is just, you get a little tube with it, get the tube, marry the tube up, and then just push it on. And that's it. That's the top one done. Let's go to the bottom one. Alright guys, the cam pulley is back on. That's back on. All I did was just give it some, tighten it up. Get the screwdriver on the top this time and tighten it up. Water pump is back on. Dead easy. 3 bolts. 1, 2, and 3. Make sure you put the seal on as well. I'll put them on. The wire goes through there. Put the plug back on. Happy days. That's good. What we're going to do now is we need to put, because we're going to have to change the bottom crankshaft oil seal, we need to put the mounting back on and send the car up on the ramp. So that's the next job for us. Let's go. Let's do it. Right guys, now that I've got the engine mounting back on, I haven't tightened them up properly, just basically so it's on, supporting the engine. I'm going to send the car back up on the ramp, and we're going to take that bottom crank seal off. I'm going to take the bottom crank pulley off now. Not the pulley, the cog that is. Big gun. Give it. Right, that's off guys. Make no two ways about it. That was really tight. There goes the cog on the floor. I just dropped it on the floor. So yeah, what we do is, this is slightly easier than changing the whole, just the seal on its own. We're going to change the complete housing here. That's how it comes, which is here, as you can see. We're going to change the complete housing. So to change that, so like I mentioned, we're going to change into the complete housing. I don't think you can just buy the seal on its own. On this model, the one with the electronic handbrake, when we're talking about electronic water pump, you need to buy the complete housing. It's exactly the same price. What we do now is, guys, we're going to take these off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then on the bottom here, 1, 2, 3, and another one here, right just behind that cover, 4, and hopefully that should come right off. Alright guys, we've got all the bolts off. 4 on the bottom, and like I mentioned, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the top. That should now pry off. We get a little flat screwdriver, give it a little pry. There we go. There we go. Happy days. There's the oil pump belt, the wet belt. We're not going to go ahead and replace that because that's another job on its own. Right, so what we do now is replace the crankshaft oil seal, the cover, and that's it, done. Happy days. Right guys, there's the new one. It comes with a seal on the inside, but on the bottom there, where it goes onto the sump, just put a bit of silicone sealant on it, the proper stuff, the VW stuff. Don't go putting like normal bathroom sealant on it or anything like that. Just get the proper stuff, the RVT proper one, and then put some on the bottom. And what we do now is we just refit it. Come on, let's go. Alright guys, as you can see there, I've took the mounting back off. Had to put the mounting on to get the bottom, you know, the crank seal and everything on. All that's back on, all of them 6 bolts and the 4 underneath, they're all on. I had to get the belt on. I couldn't show you guys because obviously I need 2 hands, right? And I can't really do it with one hand. So obviously got the belt round, nice and easy. You have to slacken that one here. Okay, slacken that so you can move the cam pulley a little bit, nice and easy, right? What you have to do is, when you put the belt on, put this side on first, go around this way, right? Locking pins are in so you can't move. Go around all the way, and then what you do is, see this pointer here on the tensioner? Once you got the belt on, you tension it up to the pointer here, tighten that 15mm nut back on. Right, as you can see there, everything's back on. So what I'm going to do now is fit everything in reverse order. First things first, I'm going to put the cover on, the bottom cover on, and put the mounting over it, because as you can remember, I couldn't get the cover off because the mounting was there and the bracket was there. So put the cover on first, the bottom cover on, then I'll put the mounting over it. Don't need to put the cover on, just put it on there so we can get the mounting on and work on the mounting first. Alright guys, the bottom cover is on. It's not tight or anything, I've just put it on there. What I'm going to do now is get the mounting bracket on. What you could do, if you want to, that is, put the top cover on, and then you can't drop anything in there or anything like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the mounting on, stabilize the engine, and then we'll go from there. As you can see there guys, I've got the mounting bracket on there. It is a tight squeeze and a little bit of a fiddle to get it on, you know, you have to fiddle about a little bit, but you will, once you're there, you'll get to it, don't worry. It'll line up like that there. See, it's got a cutout on the cover, so once you're lined up with the cover, that should line up there. Move these out of the way, so right, so now it's there. I'm gonna go ahead and put the bolts on. This one here, 16mm, straight in there. I'll get a socket and tighten that one up. Not tighten it up, but nip it up. 2 on the side. We can just get them on. You don't need to go tightening them up there. If you can tighten them up from here, happy days. If you can't, then obviously put them on hand tight. Tighten this one up, them on hand tight. Put the top mounting bracket on, and then secure the engine. Send it up, tighten it up from bottom. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put this bolt back on, and then I'll just hand tighten them. Right guys, the bottom bracket is on, not 100% tight. This bolt is tight, properly tight, but the other two are not 100% tight. Right, what we do now is we're going to get this top mounting on. The way to do this is I'll put these bolts on, just on, and get it in the cutout there, in the groove there. And what I'm going to do now is, it's very hard to do this with one hand guys, as you can see here. With one hand, I have to release the jack with my left hand while showing you guys. It's unbelievable. So basically what I'm going to do is, as you can see there, I've got it all lined up and everything. So I'm going to release the jack now. When I'm releasing the jack, that should line up and just sit, you know, in its groove and everything. So one second. I'm going to attempt it with one hand, see if I can do it with one hand. Hope for the best. Bit too much. I went down a bit too further down because I couldn't control it with my hand. As you can see there, it's pretty much near enough lined up. If I go down a little bit more, that will be lined up. But obviously I have to put the camera down. I have to do it with 2 hands. Right guys, now I've got this one lined up. Them 2 are lined up. Them 2 are on as well. All I'm going to do, I'm going to fire them on now. That's on there. Give that some there. Obviously, basically just tighten all of them up. Alright guys, I've managed to get this cover back on, but I'll tell you one thing. Whoever designed this cover, VW, Audi, Skoda, needs shooting, because my goodness, I'm going to be straight up honest, it came off so easy. Going back on, oh, right. So now what we do is we've got it all lined up, straight on there, just clicks on, job done there, right. Don't forget the sensor. I remember I took that sensor off. We're going to bang that on last. We'll do it last, don't worry. Now we know nothing can go in, everything is secure. We'll send it up. If you want, you can finish the top off, but we'll send it up, finish the bottom off, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, I've got this cover back on. It's literally the same way as you took it off. 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 1 in there, 4. Make sure you tighten them 2 up, that one and that one. From the bottom, if you can tighten up from the top, happy days. What I'm doing now is I'm going to put the crank pulley back on, put the auxiliary belt on, and that's it, pretty much it for the bottom. Right, to put the crank pulley on, no, it's not rocket science or anything. All we do is that little dot there, line it up with that dot there. Once it's on there, put the bolt on. I'm doing all this with left hand, by the way, and I'm not left-handed. You get the picture, get all 4 on, tighten it up, put the fan belt back on. Right guys, crank pulley's on, auxiliary belt now, the fan belt's gonna go on. I've got the belt all lined up. All you do is you need 2 hands to do this. One to tension it like that, and the other to flick the belt over. So let's go ahead and do that. Right guys, next job for us is we've done everything on the bottom besides putting the covers on. That I'm not going to show you, you guys know how to put that on, right? So the next thing for us is we're going to put all the fuel filter back on, the expansion bottle back on, the sensor that I took off, remember, we're going to put that one back on, very important, do not forget that. You can easily miss that one out, right? So what we do is, first things first, let's get everything lined up. You strictly need 2 hands to do this. I'm only doing this with 1 hand, so right, that's lined up there. All we do, put the bolts on, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 nut down there. Expansion bottle, which is behind me somewhere. Right, that's going to go there. Give me a minute. Right, the next thing we're going to do, guys, is I would recommend you do this last bolt. Since it's there, you might as well just get it on. Get that pipe in there, that little screw in there, remember? Yep. Before you go ahead, put the expansion bottle on, because if you put the expansion bottle on there, it's very hard to get your hands in there. So I would recommend you put that pipe on, then happy days, job done, that's done. And then after that, we can go ahead, put the expansion bottle on. We'll put the fuel filter. Fuel filter's already on, we just need to put 2 bolts on there. And that's it. Right, as I was mentioning with the expansion bottle, no fancy clips or anything. The way I showed you guys to take it off, all you do, have it there and just push down onto it. Expansion bottle will go straight on. Alright guys, we have come to an end here. Right, we've got the expansion bottle on, the fuel filter's back on, cover's back on, the sensor is back on, fed it all the way through, put these sleeves and everything back on, heat shield sleeves back on, plug it onto the brown one over there. There's 2 colours, remember? You can't really get it wrong because they're colour coded, right? So they're all back on, everything is on. I'm going to give it a clean out, put some antifreeze in it, coolant in it. On these, they don't have a bleed nipple or anything like that, you just self-bleed. What you have to do is turn the heater on full whack hot, put the water on, and wait till the fan kicks in, and hopefully, well, they take ages for the fan to kick in. I'll be straight up honest with you, it'll take you about a good couple of hours for the fan to kick in. So what I would do is top it with water, give it a drive, right, and then the fan will kick in a lot sooner. Anyway, that's that. All I've got ready to do now is put the covers back on, that cover on, the bottom cover back on, and that's it. Wheel back on. Happy days, job done. Right guys, moment of truth, let's start it up. There we go. Happy days, all running. Revs are there. What I'm going to do now is turn the heater, turn the air conditioning off, bang on full whack heat. Same on this one. All the way to the full. And that's it. Leave it running and let it bleed itself, let the fan kick in. Happy days, job done. If it takes a little bit longer to start up, obviously we took the fuel filter pipe off. It might have a little bit of air in the system. It might take a little bit longer to start up. Don't worry about that. The timing on everything's okay. So anyway guys, like, share and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell button for me. Leave a comment in the comment section. See you later guys.